Hi everyone, welcome back for day 2. We are doing our Hainanese chicken rice recipe.
Yes, yesterday we learned a bit about the history of this very famous dish, but today we can learn exactly how to cook it.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right.
But before we do that, Kat, I have a question for you. Do you cook much? Are you a good cook?
I think I'm a decent cook, which means like I think I'm not bad and I'm not fantastic, but I'm a pretty good cook.
So you're no Gordon Ramsay, but you
I'm
can
not.
you can make food for yourself.
I can make food for myself and for other people.
Cool.
Yeah. I'm pretty good at baking because my mom and I used to bake from the time I was a kid.
Right.
Yeah.
So baking is like cakes and things that you need
cake, cookies, things you put in the oven.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, things like that. I'm pretty good at those. Anyway, yeah, what about you? Can you cook?
No.
No?
No, terrible.
Not even a thing?
No, I really don't enjoy cooking.
Can you fry an egg?
I probably could. I tried to make an omelette once, but it turned into scrambled eggs.
Okay.
So I can make things hot and then eat them. I don't know if that counts as cooking.
Sure, as long as they don't taste terrible.
Yeah, it's fine.
Yeah.
A lot of salt.
All right, so that means, we're going to talk about something that's actually much harder to cook, and I think both of us would probably have a difficult time with this one if we didn't follow a recipe. So we're cooking with Alvin, and now we're going to learn about the recipe. Let's find out what we're doing.
Reading. Cooking with Alvin, the recipe. Do you want to make your own Hainanese chicken rice? Follow my instructions and you can make this mouth-watering dish too. 1. First, clean the chicken. Cut off the fat, but don't throw it away. 2. Put salt on the chicken and stuff it with ginger and green onions. 3. Put the whole chicken into a pot. Fill the pot with cold water. 4. Heat the water until it boils. When that happens, lower the heat and cook for 30 minutes. 5. Take the chicken out of the pot, but keep the broth inside the pot. You can use this liquid to cook the rice. Give the chicken an ice bath for 5 minutes. 6. Dry the chicken with paper towels and rub it with sesame oil. 7. Make some garlic sauce. Add 2 spoons of chicken fat, chopped garlic, ginger, and salt to a hot pan. Fry this for 10 minutes. 8. Cook the rice using the garlic sauce and broth. The rice should be steamed for 60 minutes. 9. Slice the chicken and serve it with the rice and dipping sauces. 10. Enjoy your Hainanese chicken rice.
Okay, so the article begins with Alvin and he's talking to us and he says, do you want to make your own Hainanese chicken rice? Follow my instructions and you can make this mouth-watering dish too.
Ooh.
Sounds good.
Yeah, mouth-watering.
Yeah,
so, what did we learn about it yesterday?
Well, we learned the history of the dish and that it comes maybe from Hainan, but it's very popular in many different countries around Southeast Asia.
Yeah, even Malaysia seems to claim that it might be from there.
Right, people fight about where it actually comes from. Well, in today's article, it seems that Alvin is about to give us the instructions for how to actually make Hainanese chicken rice. But what are instructions? Well, instructions are a list of things that you need to do. They're kind of like directions that you should follow. So we often read instructions for things that are hard or complicated to do, or for things that have many steps. So making Hainanese chicken probably isn't easy, so it's important that we read Alvin's instructions carefully to make the best tasting chicken ever.
Yeah.
So an example sentence using instructions would be, the teacher gave the class a list of instructions for how to play the game.
Yeah, that's important when you're going to play a game. You need instructions on how to do it.
Yeah, so instructions are not just for food. If you buy, a cabinet from IKEA, you need instructions to build it.
Yes, exactly.
So Kat, what does mouth-watering mean?
It means you put water in your mouth. No, I'm just kidding. It means it's like when you start to get water coming up in your mouth from thinking about delicious food. Like you're thinking about something you really want to eat and your mouth starts to feel wet. That means that the food looks or smells or is mouth-watering. That means it's probably going to be really delicious. Now the thing about mouth-watering though is it talks about the food before you eat it. You're not saying while you're eating it, oh, this is mouth-watering. Nah, you usually say it looks mouth-watering before you eat it because your mouth is watering before you eat it. If you want to talk about it while you're eating, you can say that's delicious, it's yummy, it's tasty. Those are all different words.
Right, so Hainanese chicken could be described as a mouth-watering dish while you're looking at it.
Yes, yeah. Or while you're thinking about it, while you're thinking about making it.
Yum.
All right, so what's our first step, our first instruction? It says, step 1, first clean the kitchen. Oh, not the kitchen. I mean, yes, you want a clean kitchen, but first clean the chicken. Cut off the fat, but don't throw it away. Okay, so cleaning a chicken usually means like you have to make sure that the meat is clean. You have to make sure all the guts are out of it, that kind of thing.
Probably not cleaning it with shampoo or soap though.
No, you just run it under water.
Yeah.
All right, so then you cut off the fat, but you don't throw it away, so you're saving it. But cut off means you take a knife and you use it to cut a part away. Now that's cut off. When you're cooking meat, usually you want to separate the fat from it, so you don't have too much. So you cut it off with a knife between the white part and the dark part. That's how you know it's fat, because it's lighter than the rest of the meat.
Right, so cutting off the fat, but not throwing it away.
No.
Keeping it for later. I think we'll find out why. But for now, the article continues. Step 2, put salt on the chicken and stuff it with ginger and green onions. Oh, that does sound good. Those are some really delicious sounding ingredients.
Yeah.
Green onions.
Yes.
Right, well, let's talk about a word. Okay, so Alvin used a verb in his second instruction, the word stuff. But it can also be a noun. The noun stuff just means things, 东西, right? But the verb to stuff means to fill something with a lot of stuff. So much stuff that it's all packed tightly in there. You can stuff your bag full of books. You can stuff food into your mouth. And in the recipe, Alvin is telling us to stuff the chicken full of ginger and green onions. Yum. So an example sentence using stuff would be, in summer, I stuff all of my winter clothes into the closet.
All right, so we've stuffed our chicken. That was what I was doing with my hand earlier. You kind of have to go in the back and put the stuff in.
Yes.
You can't just drop it in there. It's too hard. All right, so now what are we doing next? We're putting the whole, it says step 3, put the whole chicken into a pot. Fill the pot with cold water. So you have not a pan, not like a wok, but it's a pot. It's like very tall. So when you say fill something with something else, fill the pot with water, it means you put something in this other thing until there's almost no more room, or until there's a lot of that thing in there. In this case, we're filling the pot with water, which means we're putting water in the pot until it's almost full of water and there's no more room for other things. That's why we put the chicken in first, because if you put the water in first and then try and put in the chicken, the water's gonna...
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, looks like we're getting through our steps, and then the article continues with step 4. Heat the water until it boils. Okay, so things are getting hot in the kitchen now. It's very important to be safe whilst cooking because there are a lot of hot and sharp things around.
Yes, yeah, that's why it's usually you wait until you're a bit older to learn how to cook.
Yes, and if you're young, maybe you can cook with your parents or somebody who's a bit older than you.
Yeah.
So we have another vocabulary word here, and it's a verb, and it's the word boil. So to boil something, usually a liquid, means to make something so hot that it starts bubbling and turning into vapor. So water usually boils at 100 degrees centigrade, but actually different liquids have different boiling points. I boil a lot of water at home because I drink a lot of tea, and to drink tea you should have a very hot water.
Yeah.
We can also use boiling as an adjective to talk about the weather. If it's really, really hot outside, we can exaggerate by saying it's boiling outside.
Yeah, especially when it's hot and humid.
Yes, then it feels really, really warm, really hot. So an example sentence using boil would be, I boil milk in a pan to make some hot cocoa. Sounds delicious.
That sounds very good.
Yeah, good in the summer. No, good in the winter, not so good in the summer.
Yeah, exactly.
So the article continues. When that happens, lower the heat and cook for 30 minutes.
Yeah, cook for 30 minutes. So after the water boils, you want to turn it down so the bubbles are kind of smaller, and then you cook it for 30 minutes. And cooking for a long time at low heat is how you get very tender meat or tender vegetables or tender anything.
Yeah.
All right, so step 5. Now we've been boiling for 30 minutes. Take the chicken out of the pot, but keep the broth inside the pot. Okay, so we're going to talk a little bit about a couple of these words here. We've got the word broth. All right, the word broth is kind of a water that is made from, or a liquid that's made from the meat, bones, or vegetables that are boiled in water so they release their flavor. So, for example, when you cook chicken a long time in water, it will release some of the juice into the water, or some of the fat, or some other things that have flavor. So the water will turn kind of tan or kind of brown. Maybe it'll turn a different color if you're using something different. So you can also use vegetables like onions and tomatoes and stuff like that to make vegetarian or vegetable broth. You can use beef broth that's made with cow meat, or pork bone broth. This is what they use in ramen in Japan. They take the bones from a pig and they boil it a long, long time until it becomes a broth. And then you use this kind of broth to make soup, or you make other things with it. It's a really nice base for a flavorful liquid dish. Yeah,
Broths sound delicious.
Yes, I like using broths to make soup, or like to boil some things that need some nice flavor to them, like ramen or noodles. Anyway, you can use this liquid to cook the rice. Give the chicken an ice bath for 5 minutes. So we actually have 2 steps here. So we're saving the broth so that we can cook the rice in it later. And then we are putting the chicken on ice, right?
Right, 2
for
steps.
5 minutes. So we're cooling the chicken down really, really fast. Yeah, so now we have this other word, liquid. You heard me mention this when talking about broth. Liquid is a noun that means something that has, well, I'm talking about it in kind of a scientific way. Something that has weight or mass, but it changes shape to fill whatever it's in. So, like if you put liquid in a bottle, it's going to take the shape of the bottle. If you put liquid on the floor, well, it's gonna try and take the shape of the floor as much as it can. It will spread out. You can drink liquids. They soak into your clothes or sponges, and they make things wet. So water, milk, dish soap, gasoline, oil, these are all different kinds of liquids. Some of them you can drink, some of them you can't. You don't want to drink gasoline. Please do not.
Please do not.
Yeah, and cleaning liquids as well. So liquid, here's an example sentence for liquid. To make this cake, we have to first mix the dry ingredients, then mix in the liquids like milk and oil.
Okay, there are many different kinds of liquids, and something that is hard, not a liquid, is called a solid,
Yes,
right?
and then if it goes into the air, it's called a gas.
Right, very scientific.
Yes, indeed. So what's our next step?
Well, the article continues with step 6. Dry the chicken with paper towels and rub it with sesame oil.
So you actually have to dry the chicken off?
Right.
Okay.
And then rub it. And we've also boiled it.
Yeah.
And we've put it on ice. This is a very complicated recipe.
Yeah, and we're doing a lot of different things to this poor chicken.
Yeah, I'm glad that Alvin has this recipe, because otherwise you really wouldn't know how to make Hainanese chicken unless you'd made it many times before.
Yeah, exactly. All right, so yeah, we ice the chicken, then we put sesame oil all over it, which is another kind of liquid. Next is step 7, and step 7, we make some garlic sauce. Add 2 spoons of chicken fat, this is what we saved it for, chopped garlic, ginger, and salt to a hot pan. Fry this for 10 minutes. All right, so you have a hot pan. You've got the chicken fat. You use the chicken fat because it will melt and it will become like a oil. And then garlic gives you like a big flavor. Ginger also gives you a really big flavor. And salt is, salt is good.
Yeah, salt makes everything taste good, but not too much because it's
only a little bit.
Bad for you if you eat way too much of it.
Yeah.
I bet the kitchen at this point would be smelling delicious.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. If you fry garlic, it makes everything smell delicious. Delicious.
Yeah.
Okay, well, the article continues with step 8. Cook the rice using the garlic sauce and broth. The rice should be steamed for 60 minutes.
Wow,
Okay.
so at this point we've been cooking for at least 90 minutes, probably longer.
This is taking quite a long time.
That is a long time.
But we have a word to talk about, and it's the word steamed. So it seems like the food is almost cooked and ready to eat. Right here at the end, Alvin says that we should steam the rice. So what does it mean to be steamed? Well, steam can be a noun or a verb. The noun is the name of the water vapor that comes off from the water when it's boiling. It's white and misty, kind of like a fog. But in the recipe, Alvin used steam as a verb. So steaming is a way of cooking food, like frying or baking or roasting. Steaming food involves making the food very hot by surrounding it with boiling steam. When you steam the food, you don't put the food into the water. You just put it close enough to the water that the steam can cook it. There are even some special machines that you can buy that steam food for you. So an example sentence using the word steamed would be, once we have finished wrapping the dumplings, we steam them until they are fully cooked.
All right, so it seems we're almost done with this recipe. We've boiled the chicken, we've made the sauce, now we've steamed the rice, and now we have to do something else. So this is step 9. This is not all the steps either, right?
No, there's a few more.
Yeah, there's a few more. So slice the chicken and serve it with the rice and dipping sauces. Oh, we're serving now. Yay! All right.
Almost time to eat.
Hooray! So slice here is the last step that we have to do before we can serve it. Now slice is a verb that is kind of like cutting, but it's a certain kind of cutting. When you slice things, you cut them into thin, even-sized pieces, especially for cooking. Like when you slice a potato, you go all the way down and you get chips, or if you slice it lengthwise, you get French fries. We also call these little pieces slices. Now, slice can also mean something else outside of cooking. It can mean to cut a long, smooth line into something. With a knife, with a sword if you're fighting somebody, with a paper cutter if you want to slice paper, or you can even use scissors. Like if you go all the way down, not cutting it, that's what you do. You slice it. Also, you have the phrasal verb slice up, and that means to slice something completely into pieces. That's slicing it up. So we're slicing up the chicken, actually.
That's right.
All right, so an example sentence for slice. We sliced the pizza into 8 pieces and gave one to everybody at the table. Pizza.
I'm hungry.
Me too.
Well, let's quickly wrap up the article and then we can go and eat. So finally here we have step 10. Enjoy your Hainanese chicken rice.
Oh, you scared me for a second. I thought it was going to be another cooking step.
No, we can actually finally eat the thing that we've been cooking for hours and hours.
Yay! All right. Yeah,
Well,
I think you'd probably cook this to serve to a bunch of people.
Yes,
Yeah.
This is a lot of time to spend cooking for one person, you're right. So maybe we can cook several chickens and serve them to many people.
Yeah.
Well,
all right. Sounds very nice.
We've made our chicken and we're going to now go to our For You chat question. Let's have a conversation.
Okay.
For You chat.
All right, our For You chat question for today is, what can you cook? Do you think it's better to cook food at home or eat out at restaurants? I think I know Reese's opinion already.
I've already kind of expressed myself here, but I think I have a good reason, particularly in Taiwan for eating at restaurants. So I think in the West, groceries are very, very, very cheap.
Yes.
And you can buy things in bulk. That means you can buy a lot of things at the same time.
Yeah.
And so you can cook for many days and it's cheap.
Yeah.
And tasty.
Yeah.
But here in Taiwan, I feel like groceries are kind of expensive.
Yeah, because a lot of things have to be imported because Taiwan doesn't have a lot of room to grow everything.
Yeah. So for me, it's cheaper and easier to eat outside at restaurants, and also they make better food than I do, so I'm just going to go and eat there.
That's true.
How about you?
I usually eat out if I'm tired, or if I'm with somebody else, or if I'm just grabbing breakfast on the way to work or grabbing lunch at work. If I want to save money, I still do cook for myself. So I cook cheap things like pasta, and I make like rice balls and things like that. So kind of both.
Yeah.
I do prefer to eat out just because it's easier. But if I want to save money, then I will cook.
Yeah. I think it's an important skill that everybody learns to cook at some point in their life. And
yes.
I'm going to have to bite the bullet and face the truth and maybe start cooking for myself soon because, yeah, it's important.
Yeah, you could take a cooking class with some friends. That'd be a fun way to do it. That maybe you can, give yourself some good associations with cooking and then you will like it more.
Maybe I will. Maybe I'll give it a try. How about you guys? Do you like to cook? Can you cook? What's your favorite thing to cook? There are thousands of dishes available. So,
you could cook anything. You could look up like, I don't know, pineapple, mango, chicken, rice pasta. There'll probably be a recipe. Seriously.
I bet there is.
Yeah. All right, so that's all the time we've got, and we hope that you've enjoyed learning how to cook Hainanese chicken rice with us. We will see you next time.
Let's go and eat.
Bye.
Cooking with Alvin, the recipe. Do you want to make your own Hainanese chicken rice? Follow my instructions and you can make this mouth-watering dish too. 1. First, clean the chicken. Cut off the fat, but don't throw it away. 2. Put salt on the chicken and stuff it with ginger and green onions. 3. Put the whole chicken into a pot. Fill the pot with cold water. 4. Heat the water until it boils. When that happens, lower the heat and cook for 30 minutes. 5. Take the chicken out of the pot, but keep the broth inside the pot. You can use this liquid to cook the rice. Give the chicken an ice bath for 5 minutes. 6. Dry the chicken with paper towels and rub it with sesame oil. 7. Make some garlic sauce. Add 2 spoons of chicken fat, chopped garlic, ginger, and salt to a hot pan. Fry this for 10 minutes. 8. Cook the rice using the garlic sauce and broth. The rice should be steamed for 60 minutes. 9. Slice the chicken and serve it with the rice and dipping sauces. 10. Enjoy your Hainanese chicken rice.
Vocabulary Review. Instructions. Isaac put together the toy car using the instructions that came inside the box. Stuff. Terrence stuffed the trunk of his small car with all the things he wanted to take on vacation. Boil. Emma boiled the water to cook some eggs for breakfast. Liquid. Amy mixed lemon juice, sugar, and water and poured the liquid over her dessert. Steam. Yolanda steamed some dumplings in the bamboo basket that she had placed on her cooking pot. Slice. Slice these carrots into long, slim pieces and put them in this bowl when you're done.
智慧小补帖
Mouth-watering. Broth.
以上节目是由活用空中美语制作，活用空中美语杂志，请洽询全国各大书店。如欲索取试听教材，请来电02-2364-4000 02-2364-4000，或上网查询，网址是 www.english4u.net www.english4u.net